All right, 6.3. In this lesson, we're going to add, subtract, and multiply polynomials. Before we get to that, though, I do want to go over one graphing polynomial again. I only did one in the last lesson, so let's go ahead and let's do one more. So to start off, what's going to be best is if we get our function into standard form. Again, the term that has the largest exponent will go first. So in this case, that negative x to the fourth plus x squared plus 2. Now, there we can determine our end behavior. So since it's an even degree, that means our end behavior will go in the same direction, either both up or both down. In this case, we get that leading coefficient that is negative. Therefore, it is going down. So the end result of this, we should have our end behavior go that direction. All right, then from there, we got to figure out some points in between there. So again, we do an XY table, -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. And from there, let's go ahead and use synthetic substitution. And since we have x to the fourth, that means we're going to have 5 coefficients in our synthetic substitution. So x to the fourth, we had a coefficient of -1. X cubed was missing, so that's 0. X squared, coefficient was 1. X was 0, and our constant was 2. So when we set that up now let's evaluate for -2. And again, bring down that first term, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add, and then finally multiply again and add. Oh, -12, so -10. So -2, -10. And let's go ahead, let's evaluate for 1, -1. So again, dropping down that -1, multiply, add, add, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. So we get -1, 2. Now we're going to evaluate for 0. Multiply, add, add, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. Okay. So let's evaluate for 1 now. Multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. Okay, one last time then for 2. Multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add, and then again multiply, add. And again, now once you have your table, those are ordered pairs. So -2, -10, -1, 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, and then finally a 2, -10. So going to plot those points then, -2, -10, -1, 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, -2, -10. And there, right there, should emphasize that we had the proper end behavior. So again, when we do this, start with your point and do not play connect the dots again. Okay, make it flow through those points. Oh, here, this will be a better way to do that. Okay, and then the other thing when it comes down to these, okay, we have an x to the fourth, okay, a fourth degree function. The most turning points that a fourth degree function should have is 3. Okay, so when I look at this, I got 1, 2, 3 turning points, and that is the max I can have. The number of turning points is always 1 less than the degree. All right, so there was just another example of sketching polynomials. So let's get into our actual lesson today, adding, subtracting, and multiplying polynomials. So when we add polynomials, we are going to combine like terms. So when I look at this, x to the fourth, I'm combining that with the x to the fourth terms, okay? Our fourth degree terms. And then when I go to x cubed, there's nothing to combine with there. Constants, those are like terms. So x to the fourth plus 2x to the fourth, that would get me 3x to the fourth. Okay, plus, and we got our 2x cubed, there's nothing to combine with there, so we got 2x cubed. And then x squared terms, there's no x squared terms, so it's 0. Same thing with our linear terms, there's no x's. But then we have our constant terms, so then we're thinking 8 plus -9, which will give us that -1. So instead of plus, it'll be minus that 1. Okay. Big thing comes down to combining like terms, which we have done already. All right, so let's do a subtracting one. Let's look, we got x, we got our fourth degree terms, we got third degree, squared terms, linear, and then finally that constant term. Okay, so now the big thing here, so we got 9x to the fourth minus 3x to the fourth. Okay, so let's break this down. Let's split it up into our each term. So our cube terms, and then we got negative 12x cubed minus negative 12x cubed. Squared terms, we just got plus x squared, so nothing to combine with there. Linear term, okay, this is the one where a lot of people will make a mistake. We don't have anything in that first parentheses, so it's 0 minus that negative x. You got to remember you're subtracting negative x, so we're really adding that. And then finally, plus for our constant term, that -8, and then we're not adding anything there. So when I go to finish this answer, then I'm breaking it down piece by piece here. You don't need to do that. You can literally think 9x to the fourth minus 3x to the fourth to give us that 6x to the fourth. Okay, -12 minus -12, so that's saying -12 plus 12, which will give you 0. Okay, so those terms cancel each other out, plus that x squared. Okay, and then we got 0 minus -x, so it's saying 0 plus x. So we get plus x. And then finally plus -8, which will give us -8. Okay, so again, I just broke down each one here, but you do not need to do that. The big thing is, remember, you're subtracting, and if it's a negative value over here, you're subtracting a negative, so it's actually adding, which is the big thing and a common mistake a lot of people make. All right, so multiplying. Okay, now it's not, you could have a binomial times a binomial. Here we have a binomial, because there's two terms, times a trinomial. Okay, we're still going to use that same idea as FOIL. It's just, obviously, it's not FOIL now, but you need to distribute that x to each term. So x times x squared, you're going to get x cubed. X times x, x squared, x times -1 minus x. Okay, now we need to distribute the 1. So then we got plus x squared plus x minus 1. Now from there we got to combine our like terms. I got x squared, and -x plus x. So in our final answer we got x cubed. X squared plus x squared will give me 2x squared. -x plus x, those cancel each other out. And then finally that minus 1. All right, so that was multiplying. All right, let's do another multiplying. Now, we have 3 binomials that we need to multiply by each other. Now, since it's all multiplying, the order in which you do this does not matter. I could multiply these 2 terms first and then multiply by that third, or you could multiply these 2 terms and then multiply it by that x minus 2. The order in which you do it does not matter. Okay, I'm just a person that likes to work left to right. So I'm going to FOIL with those 2 binomials to get x squared minus x minus the 2x plus 2. Okay, and then remember we still have that x plus 3 there. I'm going to simplify that first parentheses to give me x squared minus the 3x plus 2 times that x plus 3. Then it's 1 just like before. Okay, we need to take the x squared to both terms. We need to take the 3x to both terms, and then the 2. Okay, so x squared times x, I will get x cubed plus 3x squared. Done with that term. Okay, negative 3x times x, we get negative 3x squared minus 9x. Done with that term. And finally, distributing that 2, we get plus 2x plus 6. Combining like terms then, there, those cancel each other out. 3x minus 3x squared, or sorry, 3x squared minus 3x squared cancels out. Negative 9x plus 2x, that will give us minus 7x. And then finally, plus that 6. All right, so there's multiplying. So again, multiplying binomials. We are just going to FOIL. 3x times 3x, 3 times 3 is 9. X times x is x squared. 3x times 2 will give us plus 6x. Negative 2 times 3x will give us minus the 6x. And then finally, minus 4. Combining like terms here, 6x minus 6x, those cancel. So we get 9x squared minus 4. Now what you're going to notice, these are conjugates. So when you multiply those two, when you multiply conjugates, it should come up with two terms, that 9x squared minus 4. If you factor that, you'd get that 3x minus 2 times 3x plus 2. All right, 5a plus 2 times 5a plus 2. Okay, now, a lot of common mistake. People just like to square both those terms. We are squaring that whole quantity. So this is saying 5a plus 2 times 5a plus 2. So a lot of people will benefit from writing that out, then foiling. So then we get 25a squared for 5a times 5a plus that 10a plus 10a plus 4. Then finally, combining our like terms there, we'll get 25a squared plus 20a plus 4. All right. Now 2m minus 3, that quantity cubed. So now, in this case, 2m minus 3 times 2m minus 3 times 2m minus 3. We are cubing that. So, doesn't matter. We're just going to FOIL out the first two to get 4m squared minus 6m plus 9. Again, we got to multiply by that 2m minus 3 one more time. Okay, simplifying that first parentheses, though, will help. And then again, distributing each term. So 4m squared times 2m, we're going to get 8m cubed minus 12m squared. Done there. Distributing that negative 12m, we get minus 24m squared plus 36m. Done there. And finally, plus 18m minus 27. And finally, combining our like terms, we've got our m squareds there. So 8m cubed, there's nothing to combine with that, minus our 36m squareds. 36m, 18m, 54. So plus 54m. And finally, minus the 27. Okay. Now, I will go through this problem in another video. I'm going to show you just an easier way when we get to taking a quantity to a higher power. I might not do that specific one, but there's an easier way to do that, and I will do that in a separate way. If you need to go this route, that is fine. But that is today's lesson. So for your homework for 6.3, it will be the 6.1, 6.3 worksheet. Okay, so that is your homework for this lesson. And I will do another video talking about this binomial expansion. This is not required homework, but this will be one that will help you come test time to do these problems quicker when you have a quantity to a higher power. All right, if you have any questions, make sure you let me know. Otherwise, have a good day.